Why have you been playing with your mic, or?
How dare you?
How you doing? You going gradually insane?
Yep. Slowly, losing my marbles.
Nice.
It's all good though.
That's the dream.
Have no marbles left to dream with. Yeah, just lost them all. But yeah, it's all good. What about you?
Yeah, nothing too exciting. Just waiting to see which way this thing goes. It's still pushing about.
Which thing?
This like market thing.
This. I just watched the Nasdaq go 20 points in 50 seconds at 8 p.m. And
mental.
I was just like, okay, so 20 points times 4 ticks, that's 80 ticks, times $5, that's $400 in 50 seconds. it's like, why didn't I press buy? I was watching it. I thought, no, I'm not going to risk any. I made some money today. I'm not going to risk any. I'm going to be really good. And then boom.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. You made a bit trading.
Yeah. I mean, I've kind of, I've since our last chat, I've kind of worked out a little bit more about what it is I'm trying to achieve.
Oh, nice.
I'm starting to achieve it, so it's all good.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, no, for me, I was just looking, I was like, what a shitty day. It's just like up and down and nasty little ranges with like really volatile as well.
You say like shitty, like, but this morning, like I placed a trade bang on the low of like the session because it made perfect sense to me. It hit the 61.8 retracement, and then I saw some buyers waiting there, like literally because of the software, and then they hit the buyers accepted, and then off they went up. And this is the problem. I couldn't move my limit order for like getting out high enough, quick enough. I got stopped out at my sort of 64 ticks. It could have gone up. It could have, if like the computer was against me this morning, like everything lined up, and then it sort of, everything worked. And as I tried to move my sell limit, like higher to where liquidity was, the computer just said, no, not doing that. And then by the time it sort of came back online, if you like, it stopped me out. And then it happened again this afternoon, like before the 8 o'clock rip. So I just think the computer's trying to tell me, look, just stick with what you got and just be happy and just like take a little win and then mark it down as like what you saw. You saw the 61.8 retracement. There were some buyers waiting there, and use the rest of your time to go and research some other stuff. Stop trying to overtrade. So I took the hint. So
nice.
But then that 8 o'clock candle, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But it took it straight back to the futures open. So like on my charts now, I've got futures open, futures initial balance, high and low. And that 8 o'clock rip just kind of started from nowhere. I went back to like the sort of the volume that took it higher. It was a nothing volume. It was just literally someone turned on an algo and said, buy. And it went, it was mental. But there was no sort of level as such. Maybe 2,900 and someone front run it, but I don't know. Weird.
Was that on those?
So the 12,900, But maybe someone front run it, but it was funny. But what about you? What's your computer saying? Is it allowing you to win?
I didn't do anything exciting today. But last week I was closing out some trades on Friday in DeGiro, like small stock trades, and they were taking ages to execute. And I was like, this is just weird. Like, they're not big positions. There should be no slippage or anything here. And then all that crap came out about like all these random liquidations of massive positions of things. So it must have mucked up a whole bunch of things in the market.
So has that got anything to do with Credit Suisse getting down 10% because some hedge fund defaulted on their margin?
Yeah, so like that all seems to be a big thing that's kicking off. I don't exactly know what's going on, but don't know, it just feels like a few little warning bells there when there's some major players that are blowing up over the, you know.
That's interesting though. If you're essentially very small trades in slightly smaller sort of equities and stuff were affected by liquidity because do you reckon it's the system as such, like just the brokerages grinding, like, because like if all the liquidity gets pulled away, then I've seen that happen in like crap brokerages like City Index and things like that, FXCM back in the day. You're just like, you'd be locked in a trade going, get me out, get me out, get me out. It wouldn't get you out until it'd gone somewhere completely different.
Definitely. Well, every time you log in, I'm trying to find their little thing that they say to you. They basically say, because the markets have been so crazy, you might not get the execution that you're looking for. And
so are you getting out because you have got to a target, or are you getting out because you're just bored of the trade? What's the reason for trying to get out in the first place?
Yeah, my trades just like had reached at least 2-1, and then they've just not really been acting that well.
Yes.
And yeah, I mean, I'm glad I've got out of them, and most of my trades, like, keep an eye on them, they're down like significantly, and they were on Friday as well. And it's quite amazing how well like the S&P is holding up, considering how shocking the individual stocks look.
Because I was talking to a guy this morning, and I said, like, since FOMC, it just felt like the Nasdaq. That's what I watch, but essentially all of them has been like just pushed down. Like there was like someone just, no, you're not going any higher. You're not going any higher. You're going to go a bit lower. You're going a bit lower. And then on Friday, the whole mood sort of just lifted, and obviously there's nothing stopping it from coming down. Like where every rally that I tried to buy the previous sessions, the week before, it would go like, I don't know, far enough, where I could take some decent profit. But then I thought, it's gone so far, I want to like hold this trade. I was trying to do what you said, just let it go sort of thing. And it just kept on coming back to break even or stopping me out. It's just like, And then like on Friday, I've got a trade on from last week.
Oh, nice.
Because it felt different, because normally I'd close out on a Friday, but it just felt like everything had lifted. And then today, yes, it's gone sideways from pretty much the open on Sunday night. But it's not like the highs are making higher swing highs and the swing lows are making higher swing lows, like the bigger picture. So for now, I'm just like, well, I reckon one more melt up, like maybe in the next 30 minutes, maybe, who knows? We get out of Friday's range completely, then we might have a good week.
Yeah, we shall see. Yeah.
My worry is that Friday's high, we've closed back inside and it's accepted inside, and now we just go to the bottom of Friday, and then I'll be well pissed off. But
yeah, it's a nasty little close on. Look, I suppose because the clocks have changed, haven't we? So we've still got half an hour.
All right. Another theory I had about why it was so shit a couple of weeks before is because of it felt like once the New York clock had gone backwards and we hadn't, it felt like everything I tried to do went wrong. And I'm in a good trade now, or I've had a good day as such, because the clocks are gone and like corrected. But do you reckon there's anything in that? Like, do you think certain things could be like wired still to one part of the clock, and because it is like all computer based, and like we're the only ones that adjust for time as such, maybe nobody else gives us monkeys.
But yeah, so it could have been out of sync for whatever little algo or something was randomly giving you your edge that you didn't know about.
Yeah.
It could have been out of sync for a few weeks.
I'd like to think I am trading trading in line with an algo. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Just like to know, like by default, oh yeah, I just happen to, because that's what algos do, isn't it? You know, the sort of citadels and all that lot, they'll seek out algos. They'll look for patterns. Oh, there's an algo. We'll just follow that algo, or we'll attack that algo, or we'll try and take that algo's liquidity before it can get it. It'd be awesome if I just accidentally found a way to just piggyback one of them guys. Oh, that'd be brilliant. I'd feel a lot easier.
Looks like it's gonna go to record close.
DAX was doing well. It's only the UK 100 which are like, no, the computer says no.
Yeah, no, it's been dogging it again. I'm still up for it doing well, but right now I'm just bearish everything until things start.
What makes the UK FTSE go higher, do you reckon?
Well, I mean, nothing for like 2 decades. But yeah, it should do well when financials and energy do well. Then UK should do well. So I reckon if there's a nice little dip to clean everybody out, then the UK will do well in the next rally.
It just feels like they're really taking the mickey now, because like if all the other sort of world indices are like breaking record highs, you know, we've done Brexit, we've done COVID. Come on, like,
yeah,
let us have our day.
Really useless, especially considering that the pound, apart from like the last few months, the pound has been horrendous for like about a decade now as well. So it's worth nothing, and also the stock market is worth nothing. Like normally when the currency is worth bugger all, then at least the stock market goes up because it's just worthless in total anyway.
Yeah. So what have you noticed in the markets as such? Anything like any sort of glimmers of interest, hope, trends that are forming?
I mean, as I said, I've got to be bearish. Everything's telling me that the market's really weak. So normally this kind of thing, either it just grinds around, it'll go up and down for another few months, and then everything else will kind of equal out and start looking stronger again, or there'll be a really hard correction. So
I don't get it. What do you think's bearish? Because like I just said, like DAX has made all-time highs. All the US are making. What am I missing?
Should I show?
And we're still not talking about Forex, because Forex is poo. That I agree. Like, apart from the euro dollar, which I reckon is bearish.
Yes. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to find this ruddy chart. Where was it? Ah, there it is. Right, I'll share this. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this works out, because it's kind of the way like I frame everything in the market. So it'll be interesting to see.
You've gone all like mad scientist on me. What are these correlations like? Oh, okay. So
the one that really stuck out at me this week was this one here. So we've got the S&P weekly closes at the green line here.
Yeah.
We've got now. So I used FinViz, which has. That is.
Why don't you use Yahoo Finance?
I really like the screener on FinViz, and you can kind of split it by lots of different things.
Can you like download all of the data then?
Yeah, for like a relatively cheap premium package, you can. So this on a screen, but say if you do a screen and that was a rubbish. Where's my screen? So if you want to, then you can export, and then you can actually upload it straight into TradingView as well, which is quite handy.
Oh, sweet. No, because when I was like looking into Python and stuff like that, you could like download like data sets from Yahoo Finance. So maybe you can do it from here as well.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like they need to expand it. It's pretty much only US stocks, but I do really like it for.
Yeah, it says Koi Fin, isn't it? That's a bit annoying. They don't do international stocks. They just do
Yeah,
US.
I think they're looking at it, but they're going to start charging as well, which is a bit of a shame.
Oh, there you go. You're on Corvin as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So this one, so that's the S&P. This blue line is the number of stocks in FinViz. So that's, you're talking 7,000 stocks. No, I can't remember. Thousands of stocks in FinViz, within 3% of their all-time highs. And so if you look, it's extremely correlated with the S&P.
Hang on, like, so the blue line's all the stocks in the world, or all the stocks in the US?
In FinViz. So again, sorry, I'm going to look. Set like 8,000 stocks.
Holy moly!
So it's a pretty good gauge of what's happening in the market. And so see if this dip here that happened in the last kind of dip down, and we got a really heavy dip here, but then it comes back up again with the move up. But then this was a weird divergence here.
Yeah.
So
I'd agree. Yeah.
7,000 stocks are still heading down when the S&P closes at a weekly record all-time high. And then finally, this little red line here is within 3% or at their all-time lows. So that's looking at 7,000 stocks and the ones that are all-time lows. And so again, you can see how that was the proper kind of 10% correction there in just before the US election.
Yeah.
So it spiked up. It was coming up anyway into here, and then it moves down, 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 as you would expect as the S&P goes up. And as you'd expect, S&P comes down, it moves up. But then again, what you want is to see it moving back down here, but it's just kept on going up. So the S&P, yes, is moving up, but there's some really hefty underlying weaknesses happening in the stocks.
So it's 1/8, isn't it, of all stocks are going up. The rest of them are going down.
So
Jeez.
It's a tiny percentage, but what the important thing is that basically it's moving in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
And so that's not the only thing. Look at a whole bunch of other stuff. But the other thing that's kind of jumping out a little bit is actually there's two things. So we've got here, which is builders. Which peaked.
What's wrong with builders?
So they peaked in January, and they've just been so this is a kind of classic thing that quite often happens in before a decent correction, is that it'll peak up here and then into the proper top it comes up, but bear in mind that S&P is making new all-time highs here, but builders is weaker. Industrials are weaker. They're still at the top. They're not like totally dogging it.
Yeah, because the home starts data last week, it wasn't so bad.
The data's okay, but you just need to look at what the market is actually doing. This is the XPX versus utilities.
Yeah.
So that started trending down for like a good few months now, which is normally a really horrible sign as well. EEMs have been just horrendous for months now.
What are they?
Emerging markets.
Oh, okay.
So just horrendous, like in a nice bull market. Well, you can see up until about halfway through that chart.
That's the yield thing, isn't it? Really, the high interest rates on their sort of dollar denominated debt
has definitely been affecting it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Russell 2K is just pulling off. Banking is pulling off as well, even though everyone's talking about yields, and that's good for banks, but that's regional banks are pulling away from the highs.
Yeah, because the whole credit, was it loans and leases? So the total loans and leases dropped by the largest amount in a long time in the last set of data. So like banks are still not lending money, which means they're not really doing any business other than the asset swaps with the Fed and things like that.
They're really, really tight still.
Yeah, super tight.
Nervous. That was lumber spiked in September and still hasn't made new highs, even with the S&P making new highs. You've got copper gold ratio pulling away from the highs.
What's the deal with copper gold ratio? Like, what's that supposed to say?
So again, basically when things are doing well, then copper should be stronger than gold.
Yeah.
That's long and short of it.
But copper's like at sort of highs, but in a consolidation, and gold's coming down. So, is that represented
It's
in
it's all
that?
borderline, but
Yeah,
you've got to make a decision, I suppose. And so my thing right now is, right, I want to reduce the stuff that I've got in stocks and look at some long US dollar and some long yens, just until this
really.
kind of clears up.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Because like I was looking at the euro dollar, thinking that looks like it's still bullish overall,
mhm.
but this sort of corrective pattern down now is kind of taking the mickey. And if I put on a chart like the 50 EMA daily and the 200, and you can just sort of see like momentum's coming down. If the 50 does cross the 200, then someone notices that there's been some sort of death cross or whatever you want to call it, and then sentiment kind of sort of switches, especially if the dollar index stays above its 200 EMA and all the coronavirus stuff kicks off again, and people run towards the dollar and away from Europe, don't they? So
Yeah, I don't like, it's not gonna, the market's not gonna crash or anything, but
no, but
it's
dollar could
just,
definitely go to the top of that balance area to the left there.
yeah, up to here, eh?
Yeah.
Be just a normal little thing.
Oh.
And yeah, so that's all the kind of intermarket stuff. And then if you look at, da, 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 so oil obviously had that smash down, and it's done all right today, but it's still in this consolidation near the low. So it really needs to start punching right up here. And again, we always need to frame it in the fact that the S&P is making new all-time highs, and all of these charts are failing to catch up with the S&P. And we know from looking at all those stocks that the S&P itself is really unhealthy. So there's
Yeah.
massive underlying weakness, right? And
But
then
for
at
instance, like
copper as
Biden's
well.
just said that he feels that opening up the states should be paused. And Dr. Fauci just said the reason for recent increases in US COVID cases is due to premature openings. But if they've like vaccinated as many people as they say they've vaccinated, and they've tested obviously like millions of people as well, so they know
Mm-hmm.
the sort of state of affairs, like at what point, if the health service isn't overrun, they kind of just need to suck it up, don't they? I mean, if people start dying in like thousands and more.
Yeah, I think they're looking at Brazil's just a disaster right now, isn't it?
Yeah, and I guess like France and Germany are like thinking they're going to go that way as well, aren't they?
Yeah, and I think they're all a little bit worried if there's a variation that then one of the vaccines doesn't
Doesn't do, yeah.
deal with.